We're gonna have our education by Rose McCallison-McCray. I want to say the time is now 6:35. That will be starting our meeting. And at this time, we're gonna have our invocation by Ms. Rose McCallison-McCray.
Can we bow our heads? Father, I thank you for your many acts of kindness. I thank you for your wonderful and mighty works. And I thank you for health and strength. Moreover, God, I praise you for who you are. You are my strong tower. You are my refuge. You are my God. Thank you for being with us in this meeting. I pray now that you look on each and every one of these board members. Give us the confidence and the know-how to make right decisions. Lead us, guide us, and instruct our path for righteousness' sake, that we might serve in the capacity of a knowledgeable and wise Lord. I ask that you continue to make us one team, one goal. Furthermore, that our decision-making be aligned with your desire. You desire a strong team, a team where passivity has no place. You desire a transparent team, and you desire a team that will make a difference in the lives of the students. We pray for stability. We pray for the long run. We pray that we will understand and intentionally make the right decisions concerning K-12 and post-secondary education. Thank you for leading us in the right direction as we do the work of the school board. I pray that you will continue to encourage the interim superintendent, academy, and this entire school district, that the district may continue to do the good work. God, I thank you because you have made me aware, and we're not ignorant of the adversary devices, the bamboozlement, the trickery. And we thank you for we are not led astray. In the middle of the storm, we still say thank you. We pray for our military. Thank you for the unsung heroes that serve in the military. Those who are fighting for peace. Thank you for our federal, state, and local officials. Give them an ear to hear what God is saying regarding the educational business. Look on our governor and give him strength for this continued journey. Bless our attorney in this setting. Give him safe travels tonight. God, continue to strengthen us where we are weak. So then I pray that let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be accepted in your sight, Lord. You are my strength and you are my redeemer. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Craig, for the education. As far as my report, I just wanted to say that I attended two graduations, and I was very, very proud of the students. The first one I went to was the San Hope Early College, and it was a beautiful graduation. So many kids that had graduated. And then I went to a few of the middle schools in the elementary, and the kids that were going to 6th grade. And the one that really impressed me the most was the high school. We had over 420, I think the total might have been 440. And that really, really impressed me. And that means that we're doing good things here in Hope County. We have good teachers that are teaching our students to make them successful. And I just want to thank all the teachers that are here, all the principals, all the staff that are here that make it possible for all these children to graduate. I also want to mention the teacher that we did lose over the weekend, Ms. Andrea McCollum. She was a teacher that was employed over at Sandy Grove Middle School. Elementary school. Yeah, I'm sorry. Over at Sandy Grove Elementary School, and she passed away over the weekend. So we do want to keep that family in prayer, as well as Miss Rowena St. Clair. She's a tutor. She retired, but she come back as a tutor over at West Elementary as well. Over there, she lost her sister this weekend, well, last week. And also, I want to make mention of the 16-year-old that lost his life trying to save a child from drowning, and he ended up drowning himself. So I want us to take a moment of silence to remember these three families and all that are attached to these families at this time. Let us bow. Thank you. So at this time, I'm going to ask for the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion?
Chair,
Mhm.
I move to approve the agenda.
Have a motion, can I get a second?
Second.
Motion on the floor to approve the agenda has been second. Do we have any questions about the agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. At this time, we're going to turn the spotlight on success over to our interim superintendent.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We do have several spotlight on success, and we want to start with our governor school attendees. We are asking that Mr. Lyndon Cummins, our Director of AIG and Advanced Placement, to come and introduce our students and then talk to us about this wonderful opportunity.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Malone, our interim superintendent, Dr. Register, colleagues, parents, students, and friends. It is indeed a pleasure to be here today to present to you two amazing students of Hope County High School who were selected from over 1,700 AIG student nominees across North Carolina. Of those 1,700 students, 700 were chosen to attend government school this summer. And our two amazing students are part of the 700 students. As is customary, our Board of Education recognizes exemplary students in our district. Students who were selected to attend government school are no exception. It should be noted that the AIG program pays the tuition of $500 per student who are selected to attend this awesome summer program. The goal of government school is for students to help build a vibrant learning community. Each summer, selected students are invited to government school to help build a learning community. Students are encouraged to explore and ask questions with the purpose of learning for their own sake and discovering new possibilities that complement their high school instruction without the regular pressure of tests, scores, and grades. While individual achievement and growth are always addressed, government school emphasizes corporate and collective efforts ranging from orchestral and choral music to partnered experiments and whole class projects. Government school will be conducted in person at two campuses, Meredith College for Government School East and Winston-Salem University for Government School West. The 4 weeks program will be held from Sunday, which is next Sunday, June 18th, to Saturday, July 15th, 2023. Representing Hope County Schools this summer at the prestigious North Carolina Government School are AIG students Alisa Pergin, who unfortunately is not here because she's at JROTC camp. Her mother called this morning and said she's sorry she can't be here, but in her place, her dear granny, Miss Sherry Pritchett is here. And also, our second student is going to be Keisha Clark. According to government, Keisha, could you come forward? According to Government School Selection Committee, these students' application exemplify the excellence they look for in NC Government School participants. Alice is the daughter of April and Stephen Pritchett. She's a 17-year-old rising senior at Hope High School, where she's ranked number 3 out of a class of 424. She has an unweighted GPA of 3.9643 and a weighted GPA of 4.4286. Alyssa will be attending Government School East Meredith College, where her selected discipline is math. Acacia is the daughter of Maria and Robert Carr. She's a 17-year rising senior of Hope High School where she's ranked number 10 out of the class of 424. She has a weighted GPA, an unweighted GPA of 3.96 and a weighted GPA of 4.14. Acacia will be attending Governor School West at Winston-Salem, where her discipline of choice is visual arts. Emphasis at this summer camp will be placed on creative expression for Acacia as students investigate and examine movement and theories in contemporary art. Both students are excited about attending Governor School and adding their experiences to this rich tradition, of which our interim superintendent is an alumni.
So we have two certificates. The first one is Polk County School Certificate of Recognition. This certificate is proud to present to Alyssa Cregan, selected for North Carolina Governor School. We are proud of your hard work, dedication, and achievement. Dr. Register, Interim Superintendent, June 13, 2023. Thank you.
To Acacia Park. This certificate is proudly presented to Acacia Park, selected for North Carolina Government School. We are proud of your hard work, dedication, and achievement. Signed by Dr. Shannon Register, Interim Superintendent, dated June 13, 2023. Congratulations.
Slide over just right in here, that would be
This
great.
belongs to the education mom.
Yes, that's what, oh, small down. It's fresh. It has to be right at the bottom, is that technology is beyond my. Your realm of understanding. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Our next spotlight on success will be the Purple Star Award. And this would be a spotlight on success as a district honor. We will ask at this time Dr. Peggy Owens that she will come up and present this award to the.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. North Carolina has long been home to a large population of active duty guards, reserve, and veteran armed service members. In recognition of the state's rich military history, the Department of Public Instruction is pleased to award over 336 schools for Purple Star. Among the 336, there were 11 school districts who was designated as the district Purple Star Award. So we are pleased tonight to share that Polk County School received that designation as a district Purple Star Award recipient. And that means that all of our schools, all 14 schools have military practices to make the classroom environment and the school military friendly as we welcome our military families. So, Madam Chair, and members of the board, on May the 16th, Dr. Register and I had an opportunity to receive this award on behalf of Polk County Schools. So tonight, Madam Chair and members of the board, we want to present this award to, and members of the board to you for that designation that we are a district military designation. Yes, Purple Star Award District.
It makes it better. Look at Lisa. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Our next spotlight on success will be the Amazon Teacher of the Year. And at this time, we will have the Associate Principal of Hope County High School, Sabrina Finkbeiner, to come to the podium and present that award.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Board of Education, and Superintendent Dr. Register. It is our Hope County High School honor to congratulate Mr. Mario Malabunga, drone instructor, as the Amazon Future Engineer Teacher of the Year. Celebrating all-star teachers who are working diligently to help our students in Hope County schools to discover all possibilities of what computer science and robotics brings for the future. Mr. Malabunga has been awarded a $5,000 cash award, and Hope County schools will receive $25,000 to expand computer science and robotics education. It is with honor and pride that we congratulate Mr. Mario Malabunga.
Awesome, good job.
Okay, I just got the certificate there. It says Hope County School Certificate of Recognition. The certificate is proudly presented to Mario Malabunga. Did I say right? All right. Winner of the Amazon Future Engineer 2023 Teacher of the Year. We're certainly proud of you. Congratulations. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
This time, we will honor our spotlight on success for our Hope High Five. And we will have our Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Sean O'Connor, to come to highlight our honorees.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Madam Interim Superintendent, members of the board, and guests. This year we started the Hope High Five to recognize individuals that go above and beyond for our kids and families in this district that may otherwise not be recognized for all of their service. This was the group from May. This is our second class of Hope High Five recipients, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about each of them. There is a video attached for all y'all if you'd like to watch it later. It goes long, and I'm not going to subject everyone to listening to talk on video for an extended amount of time, so it is in there. But I did want to touch on and recognize each one of these individuals because they truly are outstanding exemplars of the kind of people we want working in Hope County schools, doing the work with our children and with our staff members. First person is Deasia Ledbetter. She is front office staff at Sandy Grove Elementary School. She was nominated by Daniela Jacobs, and what she said about her is she's welcoming with top-notch customer service and professionalism, and she makes it look easy in the front office. Second is Diane Lucas, who is a front office staff member at Sandhope. She does a little bit of everything at Sandhope. She was nominated by Dr. Rich, and she said that she works tirelessly to help the school run smoothly and is loved and respected by students, parents, and staff. Third person is Ms. Layla Alicia. She is at Rockfish Hope Elementary. She was nominated by Angel Baker. She's a teacher assistant with the Exceptional Children's Department and a bus driver for Rockfish Hope Elementary School. She loves her kids, is an incredible team player, and invaluable to her classroom teachers. Fourth person is Ms. Sharon Wood. Ms. Sharon Wood was nominated by Amanda Briggs at Scurlock Elementary School. Ms. Wood has served at Scurlock for 23 years as a teacher, and she's an incredible advocate for students and families. She makes students feel valued, heard, and goes above and beyond if a family is in need. And last, but certainly not least, is Ms. Coretta Matunda. She is an EC teacher at East Hope Middle School. She was nominated by Mr. Antonio Covington, and a true all-around educator, always pleasant in building relationships with students and staff, an absolute model teacher. So we want to recognize these 5, and again, there's a video link if you'd like to watch their surprise, and we can even surprise them with classrooms. So let's give them all.
And at this time, we wanted to recognize Alicia Earl. She was unable to be with us today. This is a teacher at Scurlock, and she actually wrote a grant, and the grant was through the North Carolina Outdoor Heritage Advisory Council. And you can see the picture of the gazebo that was purchased through the grant. The grant was $13,000, and now they have this beautification in the middle of their campus. So we do want to recognize and honor Alicia Earl, and let's give her a round of applause. And at this time, we also just want to recognize our art display, that's like Scurlock Elementary. Thank you for posting your artwork at the board. Thank you. Madam Chair, that ends our spotlight on success.
Thank you. Let's give each and every one that was in the spotlight on success a hand for all that they have done with the governor's school attendees, especially those 2 students. We want to make sure that they just did a great start going to school. Also, the Purple Star Award. This is a beautiful award. I appreciate giving that. And also to Mr., I'm not gonna pronounce his name, but he did an awesome job, getting that scholarship, or getting that grant for the schools. And also the Hokai 5, I like the idea of them doing that to, to make sure all of our teachers eventually get recognized for all the hard work that they do. And that beautiful gazebo, we got to see that whenever Governor Cooper was here. And it was a very, very nice gazebo. I think I took a picture up on that gazebo that day. It's beautiful. You all, if you haven't seen it, go out there and see it. And also for Scurlock, that beautiful picture that we had up there. So we want to give everybody a hand applause again, but everything they have done. So at this time, we're going to have our public comment. And it's over to Lewis.
The first person is Hal Nunn.
I got some pictures for you. Good evening, Chair, Board Chair, and Interim Superintendent, and the entire board and staff, staff here as well, and also those in attendance tonight. I'm kind of parlaying off of a guy who spoke in May, John Harry. I'm going to add a couple things to what he mentioned. I was supposed to be here that night, but could not attend. And 2 of the things that he wanted to add that evening was the VFW in the classroom, Veterans of Foreign Wars. We have our VFW chairman, Dan Nocher, here in the room, and Chris Holland, a veteran and a member of the VFW here as well. Veterans in the classroom, I believe he spoke about that, and there's a program set aside that will allow school districts to have veterans come speak in schools. Of course, the Star Award here is a great day. Timing was pretty good on that, so I'll take that as a credit. There's also a program by the VA National Cemetery Organization for Memorial Days and Veterans Days, where they go in and allow veterans to come in and teach, I don't know if it's an hour or a couple hours of veterans history for Memorial Day. Memorial Day is for the day we put aside to honor those that have passed away in defense of the country, and then Veterans Day is the day we celebrate all veterans. But the reason I'm here tonight is a program that we're going to call Vets for Vets and Community. And John Harry, the gentleman who spoke, has been a friend of mine since basically I moved here in 2001. And he's always been at the forefront of veteran issues in Hope County. And I understand we have veterans on the board, and Ruben and Ms. Angela, anybody else on the board? So what we want to do is we want to expand in Hope County. Back in January, February, we actually started coming together. Myself, John Harry, Freddie McFall, is Freddie here? Said he might be here. Dan Nocher's here. Dale Martin is with the Disabled American Veterans, and Staff Sergeant Mitchell from the National Guard Armory. Younger vets, older vets, and Operation Green Light, we want to do that this year. We've spoken at the county commissioners, the city council. I'm going to go fast because time running out. They do scholarship programs. We're going to do scholarship programs, static display, veterans organizations, and community. We want to bring the veterans and the community together. Hope County is top 3 in the state of North Carolina with 6,071 veterans. The Operation Green Light was started in 2021. It didn't take off by the governor's office, but this year we're going to expand. They're going to expand on that. And so Hope County commissioners are going to do a resolution for veterans. And we're going to have an event right after the courthouse ceremony at 11 a.m. at the park. The night before at Rockfish Creek Winery downtown, we're going to have a concert for veterans and a car show and things like that. We want schools to participate in that, and I'm going to email you more info because I didn't want to make comments. Thank you so much. Be looking for an email.
Thank you very much. The next one is Chris Holland.
Good evening, Madam Chair, School Board, Hope County residents. First off, personal point of order, Madam Chair, I would like to ask the school board to consider adding the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag as part of our opening in the school board, kind of in line with the rest of the elected officials across the county as well as the state. Just one of those things that remind us why we're all here, you know, to support the United States. But what I'm here tonight to talk about is the Hope County Republican Party, in conjunction with the Sand Hills Community College, is hosting a youth entrepreneur boot camp. We're in the second day of a 4-day session. The kids are excited. I've got one of my executive committee members is actually teaching the instruction. And I just want to say that these kids are excited. They're loving it. We're having some local business leaders come in and talk about their personal experiences, and the kids are just eating it up. The disappointing part is we have 7 kids out of 12 that we were scheduled to have, but only 1 Hope County kid. All right, the rest of them are from Moore County. So what I would like to do with the school board is this is going to be an ongoing thing. About once a quarter, we're going to do this, and we're also going to expand it. Right now, it's 11 to 14-year-olds. We're going to, in the fall, we're going to expand it to high schoolers. But I would like the support of the school board to get the word out. There's scholarships available. It's free of charge. And then the Hope GOP is also subsidizing some of that cost as well for those that can't afford it. So I want to just put that on the front of your mind so that that's going on. And it's going to be an ongoing thing for your future support. And then on behalf of the Rockfish Chamber of Commerce, I wanted to extend an invitation to speak at their monthly meeting on Thursday, August the 3rd at the Rockfish Community Building. And I just received that call right as I was walking in the building, so I don't know what they want y'all to talk about, but if you want me to, I can give you the president of the Rockfish Chamber's contact information afterwards, so you guys can follow up with it. All right, thank you for allowing me to speak.
That's all.
thank, both of you for your public comments. At this time, on the consent agenda, we have, 6 items. You should have gotten all of this in, an email. Approval of the minutes for May 9 and 23. Field trip, financial support proposal, financial audit services, West Hope Middle School's tennis court, diving instructors, and the camera system. I'm gonna ask Dr. Chad, did we get all our bids in?
Sorry.
Did we get all our bids in for the tennis court? We got all our bids?
Oh, yes, ma'am, we did get
Okay.
these.
Okay, all right. So I need a motion to approve, those following items.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Motion on the floor, can I get a second? Second. Motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda, it's been second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next on the agenda is action items. Number 1, 2023-2024 continuing budget resolution.
You done?
Good evening, Madam Chair, to everyone in their respective places. I come to present the Polk County Board of Education continuing budget resolution for fiscal year 2023-2024. As we all know, that June 30th ends this fiscal year. July 1 starts the new fiscal year. State and federal budgets do not drop until September, sometimes October, depending on when the Senate and everybody finishes. So what we have to do is we have to vote on continuing the budget so we can operate as normal for Polk County schools. So be it resolved by the Polk County Board of Education, the following revenue amounts are hereby appropriated for the continued operation of the Polk County schools for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023 through September 30th, 2023. That's when we expect our budgets, our funds to drop. And it just tells you what we will open our budgets with, the amounts of money that will be in our state, Fund 1, and our local Fund 2, and our federal grant Fund 3, and our capital outlay 4, child nutrition, and our Fund 8 other restricted funds. The following expense amounts are hereby appropriated for the continued operation of the Polk County schools for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2024. 2023. And the state, all of the funds will be the same because the revenue is what comes in, the expenses what goes out, so that all the budgets run together. All appropriations shall be paid first from revenues restricted as to use, and second from general unrestricted revenues. The superintendent is hereby authorized to transfer appropriations within a fund under the following conditions. Amounts may be transferred between sub-functions and objects of expenditure within a function without limitations and without a report to the Board of Education being required. Amounts may be transferred between functions of the same fund with a report on such transfer being required at the next meeting of the Board of Education. Amounts may not be transferred between funds nor from any contingency appropriations without a fund, within a fund, without Board of Education approval. So basically what we're saying is that we want to run operations the way they should be, but we cannot go into the fund balance unless we get approval from the board. And then we have copies of the continuing resolution, and it can be furnished if you so desire. And that is our request that we're asking for you all to vote that we can open up the school year July 1 with your consent.
So it's she has a request, I need a motion.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we open up the continuing budget resolution so we can run on the regular school year, starting July 1st.
Motion on the floor that we continue the budget resolution for 2023-24. Can I get a second?
Second.
Do we have any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I do have a question. How much do we have in fund balance? Do you know?
Right now, we're sitting at, 3.1 million.
The next action item is the RFP for legal services.
I'm happy to handle that, Joel. So I, prepared the attached draft RFP for legal services based upon, one that the Moore County Schools recently issued in the last year or so. I cut and pasted information about the school system from the superintendent's application form that you guys approved recently so that's where that information in the background, comes from. But basically, it's just a standard RFP like you might find, across the state when other school systems are seeking legal counsel. I did, put a deadline in here, July the 7th, I believe, for proposals to be submitted to the board, but the board is obviously free to use whatever deadline you choose for that. But I thought that would certainly give you enough time to get proposals, review them, interview appropriate firms, and then make a decision. If the board is interested, the North Carolina School Boards Association is willing to post this RFQ or whichever version, RFP or whichever version you approve on their listserv. That listserv goes to nearly every school lawyer in the state so that other people who do this and represent school systems will be aware of this. I'd also obviously recommend that you try to get it in the hands of the local lawyers here who might also be interested in representing the board.
Thank you. Have any questions before we ask for a motion? Can I get a motion to approve the, this RFP for legal services?
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the RFP for legal service.
Motion on the floor, can I get a second?
You're not required, right, to accept this deadline, you could.
You can, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can absolutely pick any different deadline. You can make it earlier or technically later. But if you were to issue it today and authorize me to forward it to the School Boards Association, it would be on the listserv tomorrow, and I think July 7th is enough time for people typically to respond to an RFQ, but obviously you can change the date however you choose.
Yeah, okay. I second.
Motion on the floor, it's been moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next on the agenda is administration. Information items, I will turn this over to Dr. Register.
For the information items, first, we have the NAACP resolution. A representative from the NAACP to come and read through the resolution.
Good evening, to Dr. Register, to our board chair, to the Hope County board members. Thank you for allowing us this opportunity, the Hope County Register of the NAACP, to speak to you all this evening. I stand before you with this resolution that I am going to give to the chair, of course. And it's a resolution that we all can push through, because we all want our students to have a sound basic education. This resolution highlights several points, but a few are noteworthy. For example, we know that more than 25 years ago, North Carolina lawmakers from both parties have failed to meet the constitutional obligation to provide all children in this state with a sound basic education. If they did, the ruling in the Leandro case would have never happened. This resolution is important because we all know the playing field isn't always fair. Noteworthy again, another statement in this resolution, it states that far too many of our students, particularly students of color, students from economically disadvantaged families, students with disabilities, our English language learners, and rural students have been denied the opportunity promised to them under the North Carolina Constitution. Sound like we're talking about home. Amen. But there is hope. On March the 15th, which is also in this resolution, the state submitted to the court a long-term comprehensive remedial plan. It's called the Leandro Plan. It details specific steps that the state leaders must enact. This means that our scholars, our premium professionals who have shattered stereotypes and rose above the glass ceiling and are due more than we can ever give them. We can come together, we can join forces, and we can sign this resolution because the battle is already won. All we need to do is stop knocking on the door and knock it down. So I'm asking our board members on this day, if you don't mind, if you can sign this resolution. Yes, I could have read the whole thing, because it would have taken a long time. But I want to make sure that I brought up some specific points, because we're not asking you to do a whole lot. We're asking you to go ahead and get what is already yours before I start.
Thank you.
Thank you, for that. Next, as an information item, will be the month-to-date financial report. Were there any questions? And if so, please direct those questions to our interim finance officer, Ms. Richards.
Good evening again.
Good evening.
Well, I'm gonna sound humdrum compared to her. Before you should have the month-to-date finance report. Our state expenditures for this period was $7,160,752.77. Our local Fund 2 expenditures for the period was $458,139.79. Our federal funds, which is Fund 3, period activity was $1,510,533.87. That's Fund 3. Our capital outlay, that's where we do all our capital projects, was $409,720.13. Our child nutrition, which is Fund 5, was $451,886.38. Our after-school care, Fund 6, which is in and out, was $21,906.50. And last but not least, our restricted funds of Fund 8 was $1,460,012.50. Any questions? And just to remind you, this May was the last month that we should have been spending and paying, so we're in the process of cleaning up all the budget. So next month it will look a lot different.
Do anybody have any questions for Ms. Richardson? Thank you, Ms. Richardson.
Thank you.
I have a question, Madam Chair. I just want to thank Ms. Richardson for stepping in and working so hard and so diligently with the budget and with everything that's coming towards her towards the end of the school year. So once again, we as the board, we appreciate you. I'm sure Hope County does it.
At this time, our third informational item, Echo Ridge Apartments. That will be our Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Donald.
Good evening once again. I'm here to talk a little bit about the Echo Ridge Apartments that you can find located in our staff handbooks and on our HR website. This is a partnership that arose about 15 years ago or so with the State Employees Credit Union and the Partners for Education in Hope County Public Schools. And this was the third of such apartment complexes at the time that was built in North Carolina. And I wanted to give a little history about this because, go back a second. So for those of you who are not familiar with this, this is kind of the layout of the buildings. It's 2-bedroom apartments with 2 bathrooms, and these are offered to Hope County Schools employees. Initially teacher housing, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit as we go through the history of this. I would be remiss if I did not say that Ms. Miranda Roberts was the person who came and kind of educated me on the whole history of the process with the partnership, because Dr. Register asked me to present about this, and I thought, well, I better learn something about this, I want to present about it. And so I reached out to the person who kind of brokered the whole thing, so that I could kind of come up here and give everybody a perspective of what this looks like, this partnership looks like moving forward. There are 24 apartments, and go ahead. And so a little history on this was the North Carolina State Employees Credit Union Advisory Board and Hope County Schools Administration back in 2008 looked at the models of these housing developments that already existed in Hertford County and in Dare County. And what they were targeting at the time were more rural districts that did not have a lot of affordable housing for school employees and teachers to live in at the time. So this became a recruitment piece, as well as a retention piece, to have some affordable housing that would be close to the schools that school employees were serving. At the time, the partners, our Partners for Hope County Public Education, kind of stepped in as the manager of this process to try to, they would be managing the project as it went through North Carolina's State Employees Credit. So in 2009, the Echo Ridge development was approved by the CQ Foundation, and then land was donated. If you don't know where it's at, it's over downtown by the, not downtown, I don't know what part of town, it's on 401, right by the Armory over there. And so if you fast forward a little bit, 2012, the complex opened, and there was some confusion at the time because the Partners for Hope County Public Education who were managing the project were not tax exempt for property tax. They were a tax exempt organization. The school district was exempt for property tax. So the apartment complex put the school district name and then leased to the Partners for Education, who then handled the mortgage, the payments, and the ownership of the building. The problem was initially there were vacancy issues. We didn't have enough individuals to fill the apartments at the time. If you go to the next slide, that's an important thing because the mortgage on an apartment complex like this is about $14,200 per month. That is paid fully by the rent of the tenants. So if there are not any tenants, then the shortfalls in the payment of this mortgage had to be made up by the foundation, the partners of the foundation, which put them in, that's a huge monetary commitment at that point. So at the time, the foundation met, and they met with school officials and community officials, and they decided that up to five apartments would be allotted for non-teachers or just other type of school employees, or if we didn't have enough people to fill them at that time, first responders in the community. So police, fire, EMT. And that's kind of the rule that we've had going since 2013-ish, was that 4 to 5 apartments would be non-teaching apartments. So that would be 19 of the apartments set aside for teachers. And up until recently, those apartments, a lot of apartments stayed vacant for a while. So, you know, as we're trying to encourage more people to live in them, and they're very nice apartments, I would encourage you to go look at them. They've been renovated and everything, they're very nice apartments. So, you know, the vacancy issue started causing a problem. The Partners for Ed started doing all sorts of fundraisers, really doing a lot of legwork, trying to fund the other costs besides mortgage, because there's insurance on the building, there's the upkeep of the building, the landscaping, the fire alarms, there's a lot of cost that goes with running a residential apartment complex like that. So they were doing things like selling candles, doing barbecues, and a lot of that was taking place out of the Rayford branch of the State Employees Credit Union, because Miranda at the time was that branch manager. So they were doing a lot of that there. So they went ahead and met with school officials again. And I know that this had come up earlier, sir, so I was glad that I could speak on it. So what the school system agreed was to provide $30,000 a year for the insurance on the complex, for upkeep of the complex, and for other associated costs of the complex. The reason that the school district put that, and we take that money out of recruitment money, so that, you know, so it'll benefit the teachers there, but the whole goal of all of this was to make sure that rent did not go up for the people living there. Right? So the rent there has remained $700 a month. So the school district would put $30,000 a year for that, and then the school district would also provide the labor for the upkeep. Anything that would come out as far as goods, repairs, appliances, those kind of things would be paid for by the foundation, but the school district would provide the upkeep of the building and the grounds. And that would be through our maintenance department. So moving forward, the loan will mature completely on March 15th, 2029. There's about 65 payments, or about $1 million left on the apartment complex. And at that point in time, the complex will be turned back over to Hope County Schools. Hope County Schools will no longer pay the $30,000 insurance, upkeep, all that. They will actually be the owner of it, and Hope County Schools will actually collect $10,000 to $12,000 a month into their local funds for the lifetime of the complex being used in perpetuity. So, you know, it's a situation where once it's turned over, it becomes a funding source for the school district, which is why it was such a great endeavor for our partners in education in this district and the CQ Foundation to also allow us to have this opportunity. It's important to understand that they are the holders of the mortgage, so they are the decision makers still with this. And that's kind of where we are right now. And that was kind of a quick snapshot of 15 years or so, but I wanted everybody to kind of have a background and what it currently looks like. As of this morning, there are 3 vacant apartments that have already been allotted for teachers. When I asked Miranda about where we stood, because I know we said we had 5 allotted for non-teaching positions, she said that we currently have 5 non-teachers in the complex. So all priority for the next however we open up will be teaching positions. And again, thank you to Miranda and Partners in Education and CQ Foundation, because without them, we would not have this awesome opportunity. Any questions?
Madam Chair. So, you said 19 units that are for teachers?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of curious, do teachers know what the process is to get on the list?
I would think yes, because when we have our orientation with not just teachers, with anyone, when we do each teacher orientation, we go through the handbook piece by piece. We talk about the process for getting on the list, getting the handbook, we point them to the website, and we have a waiting list. So I would say there's no scarcity of people applying.
Now, there's 5 non-teaching positions, and that is for staff.
School employees, yeah. Everybody who lives there works for Hope County.
Who made that decision again?
I believe it was a collaboration between the partners in the foundation and the school administration back in 2013, 2014.
Okay, and we have how many units for first responders?
Those would be in those 5 units that are set aside for non. So there's 24 total units, there's 19 teachers, and there's 5 that are put aside for non.
Okay, so these 5 non-teachers, that's including the first responders.
Yeah, there were 5 spots that they said.
How many employees do we have in there? out of the 5?
How many employees do we have in the
You
five?
said that these 5 are employees of the school system or first responders.
We don't have any first responders at this time.
Okay, so all of them are all
School employees.
school employees? So we have 5 employees from the school system, non-teachers in there, correct?
And it might, and those aren't single occupancy, they're 2-bedroom, 2 baths, so they may have another school employee living with them. So there's at least one school employee.
So these 19 units are locked in for teachers. There wouldn't be an exception as to, we have a vacant one and we put a non-teacher in one of the 19 units, right?
Not if they're one of the 5 allotted for that open.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Connor, for clearing that up. I had got an anonymous letter, and I just wanted to make sure though that everyone heard it. Hopefully, the person that did write me the letter, they heard it. Now, they're clear on, the apartments.
Yes,
Thank you, you did a good job, appreciate that.
At this time, Madam Chair, that ends our information items.
Okay, thank you. Before I go into closed session, I just want to thank everybody for coming out on tonight. I also wanted to recognize one of our former board members, Ms. Charlotte Kelly, she's still here. Yeah, I want to recognize her, please stand. She's a. Thank her for coming out, and also I want to thank everybody for coming out. So at this time, we're going to go into our closed session. If you want to be dismissed at this time, I'm going to have our vice chair to read the closed sessions.
The board enters into closed session under the North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11 to prevent the disclosure of confidential personnel matters, to consider matters relating to the issue, employment of individual employees, and to consult with the board's attorney to preserve the attorney-client privilege.